Seriously, man, you need to recover. You're way better with drone technology than I am. I need you out there.
Well, you're just gonna have to suck it up, Buttercup. Maybe if you had paid attention in cross-training.
I did, asshole. But it's your specialty. I'm just not as good with those things.
We all have our part to play, right? You've got your wheelhouse, and we all stay pretty much out of your way when you're working. That's how this goes. Keep pushing yourself with new challenges. Learn everything you can. Rally other folks to fill in the gaps.
That's great and all. But I still need you, man.
Aw, you like me. You really like me.
I don't know why I bother.
Brother, I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I do. God knows I feel useless as hell holed up here. You're just gonna have to find another me. I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I do. God knows I feel useless as hell holed up here. You're just gonna have to find another me.
Another you. Like that could possibly exist anywhere.
Aw, I may cry.
Go to hell. This is a pretty fancy setup for some backwoods yokels.
You're telling me. I've seen a lot of this stuff before, like in army hospitals, if you get my drift.
Wouldn't doubt it.
This is as good as any med hooch we've ever had.
Yeah, well, all things being equal, I'd rather be in one of our camps. At least I know I signed up for it. How you holding up?
Shit, man, I'm golden. Hang on, I've been working on my dance routine.
You probably need to get out of that bed first.
Yeah, my audition at Juilliard may have to wait.
I hope you have a backup plan. 'Cause that leg's done.
This is killing me. I'm useless here.
You've helped these people.
Sure, I talked them through some guard rotations and security protocols, but still.
We're all doing what we can. I'd rather have you in the fight, but at least I know this place is locked down.
I just can't stand thinking I'm slowing you down.
And I'm just glad you're still around to bug the shit out of me.
Bite me.
Well, look at that. You're still in bed.
Eat shit.
You'll heal, old man.
Things are kinda out of control, huh?
You can say that.
Dude, I've been in this game for a long time, you know? But I've never seen anything like this.
We have got to be more responsible with this technology. Look what happens when it's redirected. We got a real problem, man.
What, we out of sour mix?
I mean it. These wolves, they're not regular nuggets.
Yeah, people talk around here. Everyone's scared shitless of them. Harbingers of doom, they say, yada, yada, yada.
They knew everything I was doing. They're trained, just like us. I can only guess they're Walker's new people.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not. They're ghosts, without the constraints.
I'll go find the sour mix.
Man. No, Weaver was a good dude.
I'll say. He didn't take a dump without checking his gear.
Well, he didn't take any chances.
How'd he do it?
Don't.
How did he do it?
He executed him. Like he was some rabid dog.
Backstabbing piece of shit.
This shit with Walker has my head spinning.
I still can't believe it.
What if it was him all along?
What do you mean?
What if Walker was the target?
That's...
Think about it. They send us to find a missing ship. Conventional guys can do that. Shit, even the Coast Guard. But why us?
Jesus.
They've had a hard-on for him since the Middle East, and you know it. And now he's here? It just doesn't add up.
Yeah, but Walker, he's just...
I saw him. I saw him do it. Smoke ghosts just like they were any other assholes.
But they'd have said something.
Would they? They know our history.
Christ. Give me the good old days when a bad guy was a bad guy. You just knew. This is friggin' whacked.
I wonder if Midas made it.
That dude crossed the border outside Juarez, blackout drunk in ranger panties and flip-flops. If anyone can hold it together out here, it's him.
God, you remember that?
If he's out there, we got a shot.
Maybe.
Give me the three of us. You, me, Midas. We'll find that piece of shit, Walker. Run him right into the ground. We got to. For Weaver.
You're not exactly in fighting shape right now, man. You gonna be able to walk again?
I better. This ain't no way for me to go out.
You get some rest, pal. Well, bud, the shit's really hit the fan now.
Oh, it's hit the fan now? Well, thanks for telling me.
Walker got smart. Loaded drones onto a sub to deploy from the water.
Sub? And where's this sub now?
It got away.
It got away. Jesus, you realize we have to stop it.
Yeah, of course I do.
No matter what.
No matter what. And then there's Walker.
Look, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but he has to go. That man with an army of drones at his back is terrifying.
I know, man. I know. Later, brother.
Later.
Later, bro.
Later.
Let me know what you need.
I heard you're the queen bee around here.
Maybe more like Mama Bear. I was raised on Aroa, been homesteading all my life, so there ain't much I can't do with my hands. More than anything, I'm just here to look out for our people.
And I bet you're good at it. How do you put up with Mads?
Oh, he's not so bad. Once you get past that prickly shell, he's the perfect teddy bear when you need a cuddle in the cold night.
You know what? I'm gonna leave the cuddling to you. Besides, I'm still getting that prickly shell.
He just takes a little patience. We don't suffer fools out here. My husband sees something catawampus, he smacks it till it's straight.
Then I'll make sure I'm squared away. What happened in Freeport? I just don't know what to say. You have my condolences.
Thank you. Those people were family. They were good people, didn't do no harm to nobody. It burns me to think that the last thing they saw was some damned machine trying to kill them. It ain't right.
Sentinel's gonna pay for what they did. And I'm gonna see to it. Personally.
We need justice.
You have my word.
And thank you for all you did, saving the people you could.
You just make sure Fox and Harmony have what they need.
They'll want for nothing as long as they're here. That poor girl. She's too young to live through something like that. It ain't good for a child to know about those things.
Listen, Fox is a good father. He'll protect her.
I'm sure he will. But still, it ain't easy raising a child. I can attest to that. But out here, with all this madness going on and a youngin' to take care of on your own, it can't be easy.
How are the homesteaders feeling about Skell now?
Well, that's not so simple. Nobody's really thrilled with him, as you could have guessed. They avoid him, like the plague. But that suits him just fine. He don't have to mingle with us anyway.
Can't they just learn to live without the small talk?
I suppose I'll have to. People here seem to respect him more now. I guess that's what you call it. We thought he was a heartless fool before. But now, maybe he was just naive. You can't fault a man for that. I see that he really is dedicated and hardworking, and those are values that we homesteaders hold very dear to us.
I'll see you around.
You be safe out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, looking good. You get the job done out there?
Can't keep dodging.
We gotta get the stables.
You said Maria's your old lady?
I'd jump into fire for that woman.
You met here? On a roll?
She moved here as a child. She was about 20 when we got together. Some people find me prickly, if you can believe that. But she saw right through me. I've been searching my whole life for someone like her. She's as responsible for our success as Rowan and me.
How come you didn't mention the outcast before?
Outcasts. They're just disgruntled Skell-Tech folks having an attack of conscience. They mostly just make noise, loud protests and theatrics.
Haven't you got an enemy in common?
Whatever Skell does to the rest of the world's got nothing to do with us. And if the outcasts have something they want to atone for, that's their business. We were here before all of them, and we'll be here after.
Looks like the outcasts are just stupid protest kids with too much high explosive.
What are you talking about?
They never meant to kill anyone.
Is that supposed to be an excuse?
They're trying to make up for what they've done.
Good for them. But there's still plenty of hell to pay before they break even in my book.
They got people everywhere. You got people here. We need them. They'll get better.
I hope so.
You think Hector's gonna be okay?
He won't be any worse than the rest of us.
If you get a hair up your ass and want to head out there...
Hey, we're families, not fighters. I'll get word to the other homesteads, see if they want shelter. I need you to play offense.
At least Layla's safe.
God knows what Coleman's doing to get our location out of those boys. I should have convinced them to come back here.
Hey, I tried too. And whatever happens, you've got my help. I just came from an abandoned mining town.
Oh, yeah. Around 1870, explorers from New Zealand found a gold vein inside the mountains, and Aroa had a little gold rush.
Let me guess. Nothing left?
That mine barely lasted 50 years.
Why didn't any of you take over the town?
Some of the younger guys like poking around there. You can always find something. But those buildings are all rotted through. No one in his right mind would live there.
Did you hear? Jay Skell's been bleeding cash trying to cure the disease that Paula's husband got.
I don't get why that's a big deal.
Nobody's tried to cure it before because not enough people have it. Jace could spend millions on a cure and never see a profit.
Well, I guess he never did seem like a money-grubbing Scrooge.
Looks like Aroa's the starting point of some evil shit.
And what happens when the rest of the world figures that out? They're gonna hit this island with everything they got.
Then we have another good reason to make sure they don't succeed.
And you think we got a chance if that happens?
You got me. But let's make sure it doesn't come to that. What is this World Seed Vault thing? Sounds like a bad theme for a state fair.
Just one more thing Skell does to show the world how amazing he is. You know it's ridiculous. He saves all these seeds like it's some kind of Noah's Ark, but he's the one destroying the environment.
Keep seeds? For what?
It's a gene bank, in case some crisis wipes out a species. But it's his technology that's wreaking havoc on the local plant life. He's gonna create the crisis.
Figures.
That man's a real piece of work.
Lucky you found this place.
Rowan Brown knew about this place for a while. We figured sacred ground always makes good sanctuary.
That's pretty damp, though.
It's still a work in progress, all right? We've managed to stay under the radar so far. With all of you, our people, a bunch of Skeltech employees. I don't think you've got room to complain.
Hey, I'm not complaining. This place is great. You take care of your people like a good NCO.
They're their own people. We've no leaders here. Even so, I guess most people do look to me.
Probably what Uncle Sam saw in you, I'd bet. Where'd you serve?
26 Expeditionary. I was infantry in Liberia and the Balkans. UN support off the Somali coast.
NCO pension didn't suit you?
I got tired of fighting over oil. So when the good old US of A stopped pretending we had any other purpose, so did I. Served out the rest of my enlistment and decided to stay.
If I was you, I would have left the island when Skeltech moved in.
Skell wasn't so bad at the start.
Until he made killer drones and turned the island into an exclusion zone?
Obviously.
Yep. Technology can be a pain in the ass.
Yep.
How's it feel having Skell here?
He's just a person. Granted, not exactly my kind of people. Part of me's disappointed. The man can talk. Even had me starting to believe he was different.
But then came the drones.
Then came the drones. I wonder how many times in his career he's claimed more credit than he deserved. Now all he wants to do is give it away. Hopefully he makes himself useful. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'll talk with Fox instead.
Fair enough. I'm sorry about those folks who died trying to make it to the Wasp.
Appreciate you saying so, I guess. I ain't left Aroa since I decided to stay. Most of us are homesteading here. We made a point of cutting ourselves off from everything.
Small price to pay for paradise.
Once. But now we can't leave.
So you pay a higher price to take it back.
Maybe. But these people aren't warriors. Whatever survived, I get the feeling it wouldn't be the same. Aroa'd be ruined. Just another place where people died.
A lot of new faces around.
Yours included.
It's good of you. Sharing your food, patching us up, giving us a place to rest. I know it must be a strain.
Something on your mind?
I'm wondering, how long is this place gonna be a secret?
You think I haven't thought of that? Or what happens if one of these victims turns out to be a Sentinel soldier? I owe my people. I know that. I'll do whatever I have to protect them, first, last, and only if it comes to that.
I get it. But first you have to survive. It'd be a pretty island without all the military contractors and killer drones.
Used to be. I'd get some leave and just walk. I'd spend whole weeks just walking around with a pack on my shoulder.
Well, I'm probably getting my share of sightseeing.
These islands have changed hands so much, it's like a time capsule. I keep telling myself, one day, I'll get back out there, just see it all again before I'm too old to make the trip. And again, who knows how far I'd get now.
So what happened here?
What didn't happen? Skeltech. It's utopia. This place was paradise before they showed up with their toys.
Come on. Digging in the dirt, worrying if you're gonna have a good crop, weathering hurricanes without any infrastructure, that's paradise?
It was ours. It meant something. These people came here and brought the devil with them.
People always bring the devil with them.
Those people out there, they brought a few extra and they can have them. We're gonna weather the storm here.
So you've got your people, but screw the rest of them.
I got enough people to think about.
So is living in a cave your idea of homesteading?
With Sentinel stomping through the wild, we needed someplace off-grid. Wasn't always like this, you know. Used to be better.
Yeah?
Sure. Even with skill and everything. Won't say it was like we were swapping recipes and PTA carpooling, but we got along. There was respect. Things took a turn after the bombing, though.
Got bad, huh?
Started with the curfews and checkpoints. Sentinel soldiers beating people, snatching them up. It's like some kind of nightmare. We had to run. We ain't cut out to fight a war.
And the tighter Sentinel's grip got, the worse it got.
We're simple people, but we're living like vermin, and these soldiers are hunting us down. We hide here and we make the best of it.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Too many times.
I'm sure you have.
How are Fox and Harmony holding up?
Bit of a miracle they made it this far. That man couldn't find his nose without a mirror.
He took a big chance trying to get off the island.
And he's got a kid to think about. Things go south, he can't take care of himself, let alone her.
Nobody does it alone.
No, you're right. I've known Fox and Harmony for a little while. I just worry about them. They know they have a home here with us.
Maybe you need to remind Fox. Put him at ease.
Yeah.
Mads, what do your people know about the wolves? They don't seem to fit into Sentinel so well.
They're all sons of bitches.
Yeah, but I don't get the chain of command.
Trey Stone runs Sentinel. His men ain't always the cream of the crop. The wolves are Walker's troops. Now they scare me. They're motivated, well-trained, and efficient.
I've seen that firsthand.
Gossip is that Stone and Walker don't really get along. I don't think Walker's the play well with others type.
You have no idea. Between Stone, Walker, and Paula Madeira, Jay Skell doesn't seem that good at keeping friends.
Nope.
I guess a rich guy like that, big tech boss, everybody must be wanting something from him.
Maybe. But if folks keep turning on you, sooner or later you gotta ask yourself what part you played.
Nah, he got used.
Dr. Madeira seems to feel like she's the one got used.
She's an engineer, so she's not a doctor.
Does that mean she's wrong?
I guess not. I'll tell you, AI is running way too much out there.
When people started putting it all over their homes, that Internet of Things crap, that's when all doubt about homesteading left my mind.
We're 2 steps away from letting AI make all the big decisions.
Who do you think is making all them micro trades that move the stock market up and down? Who do you think decides if you get that home loan? Who analyzes all the population data that decides government policy?
We've thought about this.
Maybe you should think about it more. How much AI are you carrying onto the battlefield?
You expect a lot more of your people will find their way here?
There's plenty of room.
A lot of folks living in a confined space. It leaves a big signature. It's hard living on the run. Hiding, living in fear. You're doing right by them.
We take them in, we leave them in the wild, same thing. Everything's a risk. At least here, I know people are getting what they need. It ain't perfect, I know. But it's the best solution I got for now.
I don't get how the drones aren't seeing you here.
Well, that's all Jericho. Set up special nets at the openings that hide us from the sensors. Cave walls, take care of the rest. It's a little smarter than I am, so I'll let you ask her if you need more technical details.
Yeah, Thanks. You don't look like Skeltech employees.
No. I used to be a Marine at the naval station here. Some of the folks you see, like Maria, my old lady, they lived on the station with their families. When the Navy shut the place down in the 90s, a few of us stayed and homesteaded. We worked a long time to make a place for ourselves on Aroa.
And now, you're in Sentinel's way.
Most of my people are holing up here for now. I ain't been home in a dog's age, but I'll stand by any man or woman in green. You soldiers can stay as long as you don't cause trouble. And you lend a hand.
We appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
You know anything about Restricted Area 01? That place is creepy.
Just that that's where all the weaponized drones are coming
How do you fit into this whole Skeltech design?
I was the head of the civic engineering department. Guess you could say I resigned over creative differences regarding Titan.
So you had something to do with designing the infrastructure here on Aroa?
Sort of. I build on top of what the New Zealand and US military started. Every culture has to do that. Build on top of existing infrastructure. The older the culture, the more infrastructure is already in place, the harder it is to modernize. That's why Europe is such a mess.
Why not just tear it up and start over?
Once you build something, like roads, you don't want to unbuild them. Plus, Skell wanted to keep all the existing structures in place as a way to preserve the island.
That seems like a pain in the ass.
I don't mind a challenge. That's what makes me so good at what I do.
So I guess your roads are gonna be a problem for the next person that comes here to design infrastructure.
I doubt it. By the time my roads need to be reworked, people will be flying around Aroa on jetpacks.
All these drones must use a massive amount of power.
We use more electricity than most third world countries.
So if we pull the plug, we can shut the whole operation down.
There's no plug. The whole island is powered by a diverse, renewable power grid. There are multiple power sources, and no one source powers everything. And all the power sources are renewable. None of them need fuel.
So you built a lethal drone army and gave it unlimited power. No one thought that might be a problem?
Skell insisted our power came from environmentally friendly sources. We have the cleanest power grid on Earth. Also the most expensive. Maybe people like you are the reason Skell had to build his utopia way out here in the middle of nowhere.
How many of these renewable power sources are there?
There's a massive solar panel farm outside Liberty and wind turbines on the west coast. There are also 2 oceanic geothermal plants in the channels between the islands. Those are powered by cold water from Antarctica and warm water from the Pacific.
There must be some kind of battery where they store all the excess power.
Just north of Liberty, there's a dam. Inside are flywheel capacitors. That's where the energy is stored.
Why couldn't we just destroy the power grid? There's no way to disrupt the swarms by just smashing the electric box?
This power grid is a model for a sustainable future, and all you want to do is destroy it? Besides, you can't knock it out. It's designed to have backups for backups. Even if all that fails, we have energy stored in the flywheel capacitors. The lights are never going off on Aroa.
That's the scary thing about this World 2.0 you built. It can't be rebooted. What kind of air traffic do you get on the island?
Before the perimeter of drones made leaving the island impossible, the only people flying in or out were investors or vacationers. To be honest, we've never had much air traffic. Why do you ask?
I saw an airport earlier. We might be able to land a bird in there.
To evacuate people?
Or explore. I'm just spitballing here.
The Aroa airport near Infinity has the big runway. That's where all the international flights come in.
I need smaller airstrips, somewhere that can land helos.
Try Liberty Airport. We use it for internal jumper flights. If you're snooping around there, just be careful. Sentinel uses both of them, so they're crawling with security.
What's with the fancy net there on Erewhon's crater?
Well, it's hardly a net, but yes, it is fancy. It's bleeding-edge, multi-layered camouflage equipment that blocks visibility with surrounding environmental patterns. More importantly, it fools the drones. It's how I keep Erewhon hidden and virtually impossible to find.
So it works the way a chameleon would, blending into the background.
A little more advanced, but yes. The fabric uses a signature management system that disrupts thermal patterns, infrared wavelengths, and radio emissions so drones can't run their recognition algorithms. It won't fool the human eye. I mean, if somebody was looking at a drone feed, they might notice something weird, but...
Nobody can check thousands of hours of video feed on Aroa.
Right. It makes hiding things from drones pretty easy. They can't respond to what they don't see. It was developed by Skeltech. Luckily, I just so happen to know how to hijack it. Now Erewhon can remain safe for at least a little while.
I like your style, Jericho. I'll see you around.
Sure. I'll be seeing you.
Too bad that place is like a fortress. There's no way in. And even if you get in, the only way out is...
Well, let's go around then. We'll run out.
Haruhi was your close friend and she lied to you. How can you possibly come to terms with a betrayal like that?
People sometimes do things that aren't in line with their values. Haruhi was a woman of peace, but she still killed people. Skal had a dream for utopia and built hell. Honestly, I can't say I know what to believe in anymore.
Sometimes it's difficult to defend our actions. Things aren't always black and white. All you can really do is appease your conscience.
Even when that conscience is misguided?
Even then, sometimes it's the only thing you've got. I hear what you're saying.
I need to keep going. I just have to be more pragmatic from now on.
Still don't get how Skell could be interested in both Maddox and you. You're like night and day.
I would have said the same. Maddox was my opposite in every way, but here we are, both working on controlling killer drones.
Well, that's hardly a resemblance.
Still goes to show how stars can realign given the right circumstances. Skell always was the kind to trust his instincts.
Doesn't matter if you're doing the same things. The motivation behind them make all the difference.
I left my noble intentions behind a long time ago.
So how do you really feel about Project Deus?
Project Deus is a sect. Almost a cult. It's ridiculous.
Oh?
There are no gods in machines. Computers are tools, nothing more. They obey and carry out what we will of them.
Don't hold back now.
It's infuriating. Sadly, there is a certain power in what Maddox is trying to do. She has influence, and it has gotten her far.
What happens next?
I don't know. She's unstoppable when she puts her mind to something. All we can hope for is divine intervention before things get dangerous.
The virus Skell is developing. You think it'll work?
It's definitely coming out of left field, that's for sure.
That he would want to destroy his work?
He was so attached to those drones. I've never known him to be this pragmatic.
But will it work?
The virus is a wild card, but we have no other options. It has to.
Okay. So, what is World 2.0? I mean, what is it to you?
Imagine if you had the power to solve all of the world's problems through technology, innovation, and sustainable development. World 2.0 is an opportunity for us to re-establish the link between mankind and the environment.
So, a utopia.
A utopia is unrealistic. Do I dream of a perfect world? Yes, but I'll settle for a better one. The joy of people coming together to achieve something bigger than themselves. That's the goal. A place where everyone can be the best version of themselves.
You make it sound lovely. Is it just me, or is there this real Area 51 vibe about the training center in that restricted area?
You've been watching too many of those old sci-fi shows, but I get why it makes you feel uneasy. That training center's a huge area for drone testing. It's like those old US nuclear testing sites from the 1950s. There's a test zone about the size of a small city that's filled with fake buildings. It helps the drones train for urban defense scenarios.
Or urban invasion scenarios?
I don't know about all that, but soldiers from Sentinel Corp do use it to train alongside lethal drones. It's all very top-secret, hush-hush stuff, done to preserve the safety and integrity of Aroa.
Oh, I get it. Stay safe.
You too.
No one's seen Carl in 2 days.
You think they took him too?
I don't know. He's an ass.
How well did you know Walker?
Well, we fixed things together. He was a military advisor brought in after the Skeltec bombing. We were still in mourning for the friends we lost, and then this hero shows up. He was magnetic, charismatic, you know? Like a TV star or something.
Yeah. That guy could charm the fleas off a dog. He kind of changed after he left the unit.
He never spoke about it.
Well, it's top secret. Let's just say it wasn't pretty. Why would they be sending those drones off in a submarine? How many are in there?
Dozens? Hundreds? Whatever they're planning has to be massive. With just a handful of drones, using efficient linchpin algorithms, they can start a war in any politically tense area. The real question is, why would anyone want to start a war? Or bootstrap events provoking a series of wars?
This is too big. Miles can't be the only person in CIA involved. Can't be the only person in government involved.
It's probably more than one government. Too many innocent people will die.
We won't let that happen. We can't let that happen. Tell me what else you know about Miles. I've only met him unofficially.
You know those guys who are somehow everywhere? Know everyone? That was Miles.
Made a lot of intros, huh?
He made all the introductions. He introduced me to a whole new network of people, and I put them all on my team.
He sounds like the kind of government contact an entrepreneur would love to have.
I'm not an idiot. I knew he had his own goals. I just never imagined they'd include taking over my own company.
How did you buy Aroa in the first place?
I didn't buy it. I leased it. Aroa is technically part of New Zealand, but the U.S. had leased it for years.
Yeah. That's why there's the old naval station. But wouldn't it have been easier to rent a chunk of California or something? I'm sure there's a big stretch of Mojave that nobody wants.
Yeah. The abandoned naval station here piqued our interest initially, hoping we could piggyback on the Cold War infrastructure. That was a wash. But once we had visited Aroa, its biodiversity won us over. Good Hope Mountain has ice, Infinity is surrounded by fields, and the swamps of Finn Bog sport as harsh a conditions as any good drone tester could wish for. We fell in love with the place. I bought the lease from the U.S. government.
And now these are your islands. No government but Skeltech.
Well, avoiding government regulation was a factor.
Oh, I'll bet it was. Hey, I've been hearing about that World 2.0 stuff. And maybe the world needs a software patch, but a utopia? Really?
People out there in the rest of the world, they think the Earth's dying. They have this belief in scarcity. They think that we'll run out of energy, out of space, or out of water, or anything. And that makes every day a crisis.
And World 2.0 would fix that crisis?
It was more about fixing that mentality. I wanted to show the rest of the world that with innovation, with creativity, and with a little courage, it's easy to see the universe is abundant.
And how about now?
It's still an abundant universe. That hasn't changed. Just, I thought I could keep out jealous people and the cowards.
No getting away from them.
No. I'm probably not as brave as I want to be either.
Hey, genius. I always thought you were more of a pacifist. Gotta say, though, it's a damn shame you had to start making lethal drones.
I was naive, I guess. I always hoped for the best out of people, you know? When a bomb goes off and I meet the wrong person at the worst time, I bought their logic that if you want peace, carry a big stick line of reasoning. Stone even said, doesn't God have his avenging angels guarding the gates of paradise? It never felt right here. We're building heaven on earth. And we're not gods.
Is that why you kept it secret? Project Omega? Because, you know, some people might look at it as a PR shield, keeping the image of a pacifist while making money on weapons.
PR is important, but you don't wear a seatbelt because you're planning to get into a car crash, right?
You have to be cautious.
Right.
So, what does a billionaire arms dealer do? You know, whenever he's not manufacturing killing machines.
Skeltech is responsible for an extensive catalog of inventions over the past decades.
I'm listening.
Our first economically viable autonomous machine was the Skell Farmer, a harvester capable of recognizing the range and ripeness of crops. Since then, it's found unintended utility in mining and forestry.
So explain to me how you got here. From farming drones to war machines.
Our next invention, the Skell Transporter, was the first affordable smart delivery device, a new standard in the industry. The Skell Doctor may interest you, an advanced cousin specialized to carry sensitive medical supplies. You could easily shoot one out of the sky to steal its payload.
Could be useful.
Our Cherubim City and Sky models behave like mobile CCTVs, capable of facial and behavioral identification, and alert authorities in real time. I suggest you steer clear of them if you want to move undetected.
I'll keep that in mind.
My point is that I have dedicated my life to improving the human condition and relieving the population from the crushing weight of repetitive work.
Well, let's see if we can make sure your legacy's intact at the end of this. Genius. I need you to tell me everything you can about all the lethal drones out there.
Of course. Anything I can do to help undo what I've done. It all started with two basic military training drones. The Incubus for ground and its airborne sister, the Succubus. They were then multi-purpose, giving birth to new models. Eamon and his flying sibling Murmur were taught to patrol areas in the wild. Ime and Malphus were designated for location defense. The meanest models were Andrus and Stalus, search and destroy drones that the wolves just love.
I'm sure they're all perfectly tailored for whatever Walker's got in mind. Go on.
Behemoths are massive tank-like machines with incredible firepower. You'll mostly find them guarding infrastructure and strategic assets. Azraels, on the other hand, are long-range, high-altitude spy drones. They're capable of recon over a wide array of land and utilize heat sensors and pattern recognition to identify threats and intrusions. They aren't very well suited for battle, though. They mostly just point out targets so that strike forces can do the dirty work.
Thanks, genius. Wish me luck. I suppose you got tricked into inviting private military contractors into Aroa.
Well, I mean, not exactly. We're self-governing.
You used to be.
Okay, we used to be. We needed security. Not just as a police force, but as security. At least that's what Miles got me to finally admit.
Against pirates in the moment and such.
Our drone security was limited. It still is. If unauthorized people land, we would know about it, but we couldn't do anything about it.
You're obviously not afraid of squatters. You were afraid of corporate spies.
We do get spies from time to time. Don't tell the shareholders, but the more our tech discoveries are disseminated throughout the world, the better off it'll be. But I was worried about the safety of our staff, the bombing. I just never imagined the antibiotics would be more deadly than the illness. Sentinel snuck a private army into the abandoned U.S. military complexes. Stone's been planning this takeover from day one. My colleague, Ayana Puri, who dealt with this, certainly has a better picture.
Hey, what's the deal with this chick on all the video screens? Ayana Puri.
Yeah, my CFO.
I guess she's just, fulfilling her regular job duties, sharing the company news.
Yeah. Did you see the one where she said I was crazy? Having a mental breakdown or something?
It's not a bad propaganda campaign.
She's not as smart as she thinks she is. Her strategies were always traditional. She's never had any real vision.
So why keep her?
She seems so genuinely concerned about the employees' welfare. Now I see she's just playing office politics. She's more clever than smart. She's effectively taken over as CEO.
Genius. What's this thing keeping people in Aroa?
The drone perimeter. We're calling it Operation Citadel. I think Walker came up with the name.
Any weak spots?
The perimeter is made up of different interlocking sectors, and each sector has its own drone swarm. Each swarm is managed by an AI that runs through a local relay terminal.
I can see that system working for surveillance, but it took out my chopper without firing a shot.
The swarms, they're made up of dozens of miniature drones that act in unison, like a flock.
You made an artificial bird strike.
No. We made artificial birds to do the job of bees. Pollination. It's Stone and Walker who militarized our swarms to create a deadly shield perimeter. Who thinks like that?
People after power. Scaltech needs to start thinking more like its clients. Fox called you his best friend.
Yeah, I never thought about it, but I guess he's mine too.
Times like this, you can count your real friends on one hand. You known him a while? You a buddy from college or something?
No. A few years ago, I hired him as a consultant. He was working on the problem P versus NP.
That literally means nothing to me.
It's a math problem. One of the math problems. But Fox was just so enthusiastic about everything, I widened the scope of his role. He was involved in every non-military project Skeltech had.
He's a good guy to have around.
Absolutely.
Hey, ¿qué pasa, Gonzo? ¿Cómo estás? Buenos días. Estoy viendo las cinemáticas, bueno, estoy viendo las conversaciones que tenía pendiente con la gente de Breakpoint, de la cueva esta que hay aquí. Que llevo mucho tiempo sin leerlas, bueno, desde el principio del juego y ya estaba bien. Entonces, esta mañanita estoy, pues eso, dándole a las conversaciones para ver qué dicen, un ratito. Así que nada, si te quieres quedar, todavía quedarán 15 o 20 minutos, lo mismo. No lo sé. Mientras desayuno las veo. Hasta ahora.
Sometimes it seems like Harmony's the only Skeltech kid in Aurora.
I don't know. We invited more people to Aurora who had children, but most of them turned us down. It was kind of great having Harmony around.
Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. There ain't so many kids out in Aurora for me to worry about.
Believe me, worrying about Harmony is enough.
You two seem to get along.
Yeah. She treats me like another kid. She's smart, but having her around helps me see things with new eyes.
But aside from her dad, she has no one else here?
No, just me.
I need more about Paula Madeira. How long have you known her?
Years. I hired her right out of grad school. Actually, she was still in grad school. She was only 20, but she was just so smart. I knew that with her, I could lay the foundation of Skeltech's advanced drone program.
But are you friends? Was there something else going on, or what? There's something here I'm missing.
I think hiring her so young, she never really learned the art of adapting. She didn't like working with Walker. I could have handled her differently. I know I need to talk to her about that.
You didn't answer my question.
It hurt. She was so special and one of the first to truly believe. And in hindsight, she was also right. She saw right through Walker. She was immune to his charm. And I was deaf to her warnings.
You and Paula cool now?
I hope so. I've known her almost her whole adult life, you know?
You're kind of her mentor.
A mentor's more than a boss. More than a friend, even. I've guided her her entire career. I don't want her to feel betrayed.
Well, she's here now. That's something. It's at least a start. Hey, at what point did you stop being a part of Walker and Stone's plan?
I told you. They took the company from me.
And that's why you ran.
They were supposed to be running their test of the lethal drones out in the Thar Desert in Rajasthan. Instead, they tested their linchpin models.
What's a linchpin model?
Their idea is that killing a key individual, a linchpin, will put a chain of events in motion that will cause a desired outcome.
Like killing Franz Ferdinand started World War I.
They wanted to start some chaos between India and Pakistan. The models were flawed, but it almost worked. I tried to put a stop to it. That's why they took over. That's why I had to run.
You healed up from the bombing attack? I mean, in your head?
Yeah, well, I had to deal with the aftermath. First team to inspect the site. I still remember all those broken windows, shattered shards of glass. I kept thinking, we can fix those, we can fix those. I got the windows fixed, but I stopped scheduling non-vital meetings in the Skell Foundation head office. It's different than when you see something on TV. It's just reporters and sirens. It's the smell. So acrid it singes your nostrils, like the energy around you has been sucked away, you know?
Yeah, I do.
And the bombers were never caught. We never knew if another one was coming. We suspected the outcast, but now that Sentinel's taken over, I wonder.
You're the one who asked Sentinel to step in.
Yeah, that's on me.
I met a lot of Skeltech employees who are mad at you.
The outcast. Sentinel hasn't taken care of him yet?
They're naive, but they can learn. They can do some good for the island.
They're small-minded, fearful. If they think the world is going to destroy them, it will.
Well, we need them, so maybe we can change their minds.
Some people don't change, Nomad.
But some of them do. Listen, I get that Maddox isn't exactly warm and friendly. But why do people hate her?
They don't hate her as much as they fear humanity's evolutionary destiny.
Whoa, that's a little intense. Even for you.
Grace Maddox is in charge of Skeltech's transhumanist research, Project Deus. Yeah, on a personal level, she's not, fun.
Yeah, she's also really into herself.
Sure, she's really effective. I gave her a huge budget. She wants more.
You give it to her?
Ayana Puri, my CFO, wouldn't let me. So Maddox cut costs. Instead of spending the time to perfect a true quantum computer, she developed a DNA-based computer that behaves like a quantum computer.
And you know what she's doing with that?
She plans to download her mind onto that computer. I know it sounds a little crazy and unbelievable, but someone will do it. And she should be first.
This guy, Trey Stone, doesn't make things easy.
He always seemed kind of ambitious. He and Walker always had some friction.
Walker mentioned Stone before, but never in a friendly way. I take it he isn't very likable.
He's a creep. But I've had to work with all kinds of people before. Sometimes you tolerate jerks just because they get the job done.
Did he get the job done?
I don't actually know. He kind of insulated himself. As a subcontractor, I couldn't supervise him the way I did other people. I had to trust Walker when he said things were going well.
Explain something to me, this Titan program. Why in the hell would you think it was a good idea to build giant killing machines? Aren't lethal drones enough?
I recognized that smaller drones are already deadly and far more cost-efficient, but I was influenced.
Walker.
He was always complaining that the existing drones didn't have enough media presence. These days, wars are fought on television screens. He wanted titans that could exude charisma and raise hope and simultaneously suffocate the spirit of a nation.
Sounds charming.
I find that once I'm given a task, my inspiration is fueled by the vacuum. I knew that what Walker wanted was entirely unnecessary for counterterrorism, but I got carried away. Now I shudder to imagine what he intended the whole time.
You're not the only one. You sure this virus is gonna work?
Absolutely. It's not a computer virus like any other. Yes, it will hack systems, controlling a sector of drones, but this virus includes an evolutionary algorithm.
Machine learning backdoor malware? I like my attacks a little simpler.
But our opponent, the systems, they're too complex to come at them with anything less. But don't worry. Paul and I will make it work.
I hope so, genius. I hope so. When did you get away from using dollars?
You like the Screds?
I don't understand them.
They're a cryptocurrency. As much as we could, we wanted to get away from the control of international banking.
But it's a made-up money.
All money is made up. It only has value because we all agree on it as a medium of exchange. Everyone in Aurora agrees to use Screds. And Skeltec makes sure to create a limited supply.
So if we all agree to use your play money instead of dollars, the economy still works the same way?
Money's only worth what you think it's worth.
My mind blown. Hey, did Fox tell you who his inside source might be? Now, I don't want to press him. I'm not even 100% that he has one. But if that source gets into trouble, he could need someone to help out.
He hasn't told me. And I doubt he would respond well to a man with a gun asking him the question.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. Just as long as you know.
I don't know. And it's not like him to be quiet about anything. I mean, the things that guy told me about his ex-wife, it was like listening to a guy describe a squid eating a chocolate birthday cake. Nobody needs to hear that.
So if he is keeping this secret, it must be pretty big.
Must be.
That outcast bombing must have hit you pretty hard.
Maybe you read about it. I lost my wife in the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center.
Sorry. I didn't know. I guess I can't blame you for bringing in Stone and Sentinel.
Do you know what it feels like to lose someone?
Yeah, I do.
You get all torn up inside. You get to feel like you're falling, but it's an endless fall. You grab hold of anything you can.
So what am I grabbing hold of now?
I don't know. Us. We need you, Nomad. But you probably need us every bit as much.
Stay out of trouble.
Focus is my forte.
God, no. I don't want to leave Erewhon, even for a minute.
Yeah, well, me either. But someone's gonna have to. We have dozens of people to feed, and all the farms are abandoned.
Is that what they want? To starve us out?
I don't know, but unless we figure something out, that's what we're looking at.
So, Rowan, how is it that you settled here on Aroa?
You know, classic stuff. Came to the island, found peace. Didn't mind the neighbors until they pulled out the killer drones. The usual.
Rowan, you got a little military in you.
I guess I still look the part. Hard to wash that stink off, huh?
Tell me about it. Who were you with?
Army, 10th Mountain.
Good. That ought to come in handy.
Can't tell who you're with, though. I'd call that a non-standard uniform.
We need deniability sometimes. And honestly, I wear what's comfortable. They let us get away with a lot.
You're one of those people.
I guess I am.
Reckon you can't tell me the name of your unit.
I could, but...
You'd have to kill me. Right. So, where were you before?
Second Fork Contil 06, then I helped stand up Marsoc.
A Marine, huh? Shit. I fought with you guys in Afghanistan back in '05. Tough bastards.
I was there in '05, up in the Karengo.
Well, I'm glad you're here now.
Wish I could say the same.
Come on. I never met a Marine who wasn't up for a good fight. So, where were you before?
The 2-4, Special Tactics Squadron. I'm a controller.
Air Force?
AFSOC. I was attached to TF Blue for a few years before I got picked up here. I was with Task Force 145 in '06. Hunter-killer team.
Hunter-killer, huh?
Something like that.
Good. We got lots that needs hunting and killing around here.
Just point me in the right direction, and I'll take care of the rest.
I like your attitude, but this ain't gonna be easy.
Then let's pull chocks and get to work.
You're a little far from home, aren't you?
I'm here on work. This is no vacation.
You don't look like the typical tourist. In fact, you look like you have a little bit of soldier in you.
Well, what's your story?
I came here looking for a little peace. Instead, I found the wolves.
Sounds like we have a common enemy. What can you tell me about them?
I've been doing recon on those pricks for months now. They're different than regular Sentinel. They're more like you. They're highly specialized. They work in small teams and they're lethal. They got their own op sites all to themselves. They hardly ever leave. They just train.
I'll have to pay them a visit.
What? You got a death wish? You can't fight them alone. They're too good. You'll need a full team to take them on.
Can I count you in?
Like I said, I came here looking for peace. But that doesn't mean I can't tell you where to find a fight. Let me know when you're ready. You'll need a team, so either bring your own or I'll help you find one. Then I'll show you where to find the Wolves' current op site, and you can get down to business.
I'll see you later.
Cool. The battlefield will need more blood. Makes the green grass grow, right?
How are you holding up after the attack?
I'm mad as hell. That's how I'm holding up. I tell you, the only way to deal with these fuckers is a bullet to the brain.
Well, sometimes it's the only way. Though, Kyle might see it different.
Yeah, well, Kyle is a gentle soul. That's why I love him. He thinks peace begets peace.
Yeah? And you?
I've seen the violence and hatred in men's hearts. I know you have to be ready to fight to keep your own peace.
Well, I'm glad you made it here after all that.
I'm not. I guess it's better than being dead, but I worked hard on that land. Kyle did, Emmett did, ancestors did. It's not in my blood to walk away from anything, but Sentinel forced my hand there. And I feel stupid because Emmett wanted to come to Erewhon sooner after the roadblocks. Kyle too, I think, though he was quiet about it. He knew how hard it would be for me to leave, so he didn't push it. So, there's my stubborn nature and his peaceful one getting us in trouble once again.
To abandon your home, I think it's the hardest decision someone ever has to make. But either way, your stubbornness is gonna keep you alive through this. I think you're too damn stubborn to die.
Ha, well, we'll see about that one. Thanks, Nomad.
You and Kyle seem pretty close.
You trying to see if I'm single?
Shut up.
Yeah, we're close. We both grew up here. That alone creates a bond. We work well together, though. He's like the earth, and I'm like fire. He keeps me grounded.
How so?
When I was a kid on Aroa, I was obsessed with finding new worlds. I even built a raft to discover all the tiny inlets around Aroa. My parents freaked, of course. But I always dreamed of worlds other than this island, but there comes Kyle. He showed me that it's not just about finding the next thing and the next, but about building something where you're at.
So you stayed?
I stayed and built a damn fine paradise while we were at it. Until Sentinel took it away.
We've got a good husband. That's hard to find.
We aren't married. Not officially. I just started using his name. I don't even really know how marriage works, to tell you the truth. Our community doesn't have much use for it. In books, it's usually some arranged nightmare to an aloof lord or something. But I don't know. Someday it might be nice to have a ceremony.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for my invite.
You do that, Nomad.
We'll see you later.
Sure.